What happens when America's Queen of Country meets one of TV's most outspoken hosts, live on national television? It started like any other episode of The View, laughter, chatter, and that signature New York energy buzzing through the studio. But no one, not even the producers, was ready for what came next. Reba McEntire, calm, classy, representing the heart of the South, walked onto that stage with her trademark smile. She was there to talk about her new album and tour, but in less than 10 minutes, the whole tone of the show changed. Joy Behar, known for her sharp tongue and political digs, leaned back in her chair, smirked, and dropped a comment that would send shockwaves across the internet. The crowd gasped. The co-hosts froze. And Reba, usually composed and gentle, gave Joy a look that said you just went too far. The tension was thick. The audience didn't know whether to laugh or stay silent. Cameras kept rolling. Joy tried to play it off as a joke, but the damage was already done. For Reba, it wasn't just about herself. It was about defending where she came from, the people she loves, and the values she's proud of. What started as a friendly interview quickly turned into one of the most unforgettable on-air clashes in daytime TV history. Because when Joy Behar mocked the South, Reba McEntire didn't just sit there. She stood up and walked straight off that stage. It was supposed to be a light-hearted morning on The View. Reba McEntire, America's sweetheart of country music, sat gracefully in the guest chair, greeting the audience with that warm Southern charm. She talked about her new album, her tour, and how much she missed home cooking on the road. Joy Behar smiled, but not with kindness. From the start, her questions had a subtle edge. "So, Reba," Joy began, "you still think the South is the best place to live, even with all the challenges?" Reba laughed softly. "Well, Joy, I believe every place has its charm. But the South is home. It's where my heart beats." The audience clapped. But Joy wasn't done. She kept interrupting, throwing in quick little comments that got small, nervous laughs from the crowd. Reba stayed calm, even graceful, answering every question with dignity. But as the conversation shifted to Southern traditions, Joy leaned back and gave that smirk she's famous for. The producers exchanged glances. They could sense tension building, even though the audience didn't yet understand where this was heading. Reba, unaware of what was coming, continued sharing stories about growing up in Oklahoma, simple, heartfelt, and real. But Joy's tone was changing. She wasn't looking for stories anymore. She was looking for a reaction, and she was about to get one that would make live TV history. It happened mid-conversation, so quickly that viewers barely saw it coming. Reba had just mentioned how Southern folks still believe in respect, faith, and family. Joy chuckled and said with a grin, "Well, not everyone down there believes in progress, do they?" The room went quiet. Audience laughter stopped cold. Even the camera operator hesitated, unsure where to focus. Reba blinked, her smile fading. She straightened in her chair and said slowly, "Excuse me, Joy? What exactly do you mean by that?" Joy shrugged, pretending it was all in good fun. "Oh, come on, Reba. You know what I mean? Some people in the South are just a little behind the times." A low murmur rippled through the audience. Reba's eyes narrowed just slightly. "Behind the times? I think you'll find Southern folks know a thing or two about loyalty, kindness, and hard work, values this country could use a little more of." The audience erupted in applause. Joy's face tightened. "I was just joking," she said with that forced laugh. Reba leaned forward, voice steady but sharp. "Maybe, but some jokes come from a place that isn't funny, Joy." There it was. The line had been crossed, and everyone knew it. By now, the studio was tense enough to feel it in the air. Joy tried to laugh off the moment, waving her hand like it was nothing. "Oh, lighten up, Reba. You can't take everything so seriously. It's just TV." Reba didn't smile. Her eyes locked on Joy. "It might be TV for you, Joy, but it's real life for me, and for millions of folks watching who just heard you mock where they come from." Joy raised an eyebrow, trying to keep control. "Oh, please. I wasn't mocking anyone." Reba crossed her arms. "You can hide behind jokes all you want, but disrespect doesn't become humor just because you smile after saying it." The audience clapped again, louder this time. Even co-hosts shifted uncomfortably. Sunny Hostin looked down at her notes. Whoopi's eyes darted toward the producer booth. Joy forced a grin, but the tension was unshakable. Well, I guess we just see the world differently. Reba's reply was quiet, but it hit like thunder. That's the beauty of this country, Joy. We don't all have to think alike, but we do have to respect each other. The audience stood to their feet. Joy looked stunned. Cameras caught Reba's calm stare as applause echoed through the set, but Reba wasn't done yet. As the clapping died down, Reba glanced toward the producers, then back at Joy. You know, she said, unhooking her mic, I came here to talk about music and kindness, two things we could all use more of. Joy tried to respond, but Reba kept going. If being proud of where I'm from is a problem for you, then maybe this isn't the right place for me. With that, she stood up. The audience gasped. Joy froze, unsure whether to speak or laugh. Reba, come on, don't be dramatic, Joy said, half joking, half pleading. Reba turned back one last time. I'm not being dramatic, Joy, I'm being real. There's a difference. And just like that, Reba McEntire, a woman who built her career on grace and grit, walked right off the stage. Cameras kept rolling for a few seconds longer before the show abruptly cut to commercial. Backstage, Reba's team surrounded her, while producers scrambled to decide what to do next. Joy sat silently at the table, staring into the crowd. The laughter, the chatter, gone. What remained was the echo of Reba's words and a silence that spoke louder than anything else that day. Within minutes, clips flooded social media. Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere you looked, one hashtag was trending. Team Reba. Fans across the country, and especially in the South, rallied behind her. Reba stood for respect, one user wrote. She said what millions of us have wanted to say. Even celebrities chimed in, praising her poise and strength. Joy Behar stayed quiet at first. But by the next morning, The View opened with her addressing the backlash. I may have gone too far yesterday, Joy said awkwardly. I was just trying to be funny, but many weren't buying it. Viewers saw Reba's walkout not as a meltdown, but as a moment of self-respect. Later that week, Reba posted a photo on Instagram with the caption, Respect isn't regional, it's universal. Always stand tall for who you are and where you come from. The post went viral, drawing millions of likes and thousands of comments. She didn't need to say Joy's name. Everyone already knew that single act, walking off instead of fighting, turned into one of the most powerful statements in recent TV history, because sometimes silence walks louder than words, and there you have it. The moment that stopped live television in its tracks. Reba McEntire didn't shout, didn't argue. She simply walked away. And that silence? It spoke louder than anything Joy Behar could have said. For millions watching, it wasn't just a celebrity walkout. It was a reminder that respect still matters. No matter where you're from, whether it's Nashville, New York, or anywhere in between, standing up for yourself never goes out of style. But here's the real question. Was Reba right to walk off? Or should she have stayed and spoken her mind right there on stage? Was Joy's comment harmless humor or a line that never should have been crossed? Tell us what you think in the comments. I want to hear your voice on this one. And if you believe Reba did the right thing, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe, because we've got more real, unfiltered celebrity moments that Hollywood tried to hide. Stay tuned. Because in this world of scripted smiles and camera lights every now and then, someone still has the courage to walk away with dignity.